Lesson number 5, creating internal documentation. Clear, detailed internal documentation can accelerate the onboarding process for new researchers and serve as a go-to reference that researchers can rely on without overwhelming you with questions. In this lesson of our Team Building and Coordination with Research Hub course, we'll discuss the types of internal documentation that you should create for your team and existing resources and templates you can adapt for internal use. Often creating internal documentation is the most time-consuming part of team training and onboarding, so this will be the most lengthy lesson of this course. To make this process as easy as possible for you, we've identified existing templates, articles, and other resources that you can adapt to train your team. Here are some of the most common types of internal resources you should consider creating for your team. The first being research best practices. Establishing best practices are essential for any team, but especially those in which non-researchers, such as product managers or UX designers, are conducting research on their own. Best practices documentation ensures that everyone, from novice researchers to experienced team members, follow ethically sound procedures. You'll want to cover information like how to ask good research questions, how to choose the right research method, how to determine recruiting criteria, as well as how to analyze and present data. Second being consent forms, NDAs, or other legal must-haves. Compliance is crucial, so you need to make sure your team has access to the appropriate consent forms, NDAs, and other documentation to ensure participants' rights are respected and the company is protected from legal risks. This documentation should all be put in place before any research activity begins, especially in industries like healthcare or finance where data privacy is critical. You should have already set up your consent form in our Hub for Research Ops Setup and Onboarding course. If you have our document signing add-on, you can automate participant signature collection for these forms and ensure that this critical step is never skipped by any researcher on your team. And not sure what should be included in your consent form? You can try our consent form template for inspiration. Next will be tool and workflow tutorials. The typical research toolkit can include any number of tools, from recruiting and panel management tools like user interviews to tools for prototyping, unmoderated tests, surveys, and qualitative analysis, and more. You'll want to create easy-to-follow tutorials for any tool that you expect your team to regularly use in their research. This way, you ensure that both new and old team members can effectively use these tools without needing hands-on support each time. For Research Hub tutorials, you can lean on the content in this UI Academy and the Researcher Help Center. We're constantly creating and updating the technical documentation and tutorials for our product. So much of this content can be easily adapted for training for your team. Next, we'll talk through recruitment workflow templates. Recruitment is one of the most time-consuming aspects of research, so any templates and documentation you can create here can significantly improve the efficiency of research across your team. In Research Hub, many of the templates and settings you need to streamline the recruitment workflow are built right into the platform. For example, you can create templates for emails, projects, screener surveys, and confirmation pages. Other features like sender profiles and panel segments are also helpful in this area. Our next recommendation is creating method-specific guides. Different research methods all have their own use cases, nuances, and best practices. Method-specific guides help teams apply the right approach for the best quality results. In Research Hub, you can create project templates for all of the different methods your team might use, which can help enforce best practices in the research design process. Additionally, you can lean on the tips, templates, and information in our UX Research Field Guide and UX Research Launch Kits to help develop your team's expertise in different research methods. Next, we'll talk through moderation and note-taking guides. Effective moderation and note-taking are critical for collecting and remembering useful data during research sessions, so it's helpful to offer moderator scripts, question banks, note-taking matrices, and other similar resources to your team. In this lesson, we have 17 note-taking templates and 70 plus user testing questions that you can adapt for your team. And last, you'll want to create templates for presenting your findings. Findings, presentations, and other deliverables are crucial for ensuring that the insights your team gathers are actually understood and used to create value. So creating these templates and guides in this aspect of research can set your team up for success as well. And for inspiration, we have 31 presentation templates and examples in this guide. And lastly, I want to shout out some free resources and templates you can adapt for internal use. To help our customers succeed, User Interviews customer success, support, and marketing teams are constantly working to create and improve our product resources. The following resources can be copy and pasted or adapted with info specific to your company to save time and energy during the team enablement process. Like these User Interviews Academy courses and lesson slides, We offer free downloadable research templates for different aspects of the research process, including recruiting, note-taking, diary studies, and more. Research Field Guide, which is a comprehensive how-to guide on the foundational aspects of user research. This is perfect for new or less experienced researchers who need a reference for basic research best practices. You can also utilize our UI Help Center. This contains technical documentation and tutorials for all aspects of the user interviews platform. You'll want to reference these articles for help-specific tips and information. And lastly, tools and calculators like the Incentives Calculator, Qualitative Sample Size Calculator, and the Method Selection Tool will give you personalized data-backed recommendations on tricky decisions like what incentive to offer or how many participants to recruit. So try one of our free calculators today.